Livewire's rack and equipment testing procedures. This video will go over the steps you should follow when building a rack and testing equipment. An audio-video component rack is often used in our clients' homes to house their multiple audio-video components in one place. This rack keeps the components organized and safe. When you have a job requiring you to install a rack, the rack is assembled and the components installed inside before you ever leave the Livewire warehouse. Let's learn how to assemble a rack. The audio-video component rack will be located in the warehouse in a box looking similar to this one. As you can see, the shelving units that go inside the rack are packed separately and are in those boxes that you see stacked on top. When these items are delivered to the warehouse, the job name will be written on the outside of the box to make finding the equipment easier. The first step in assembling the rack is locating all of the boxes for the rack and shelves and bringing those items to the testing area of the warehouse. You then need to locate the rack elevation plan. This will have been created specifically for the job before the rack and shelves were even ordered. You will use this plan to determine where each shelf will go in the rack and what equipment will go inside of the rack. Using the plan, you are now ready to start assembling the rack. First, lift the box off of the rack unit. The rack will look something like this. Each rack may have a different height and a different number of shelves. Using the plan, find out where each shelf unit will go and start putting the shelves in. It helps to have another person there to hold the shelf while you screw it into the rack. Once all of the shelves have been installed, it's now time to move on to testing the audio-video equipment. Oftentimes, the equipment that will be installed into the rack will have been tested ahead of time by another Livewire employee and left for you in close proximity to the testing area. However, if the equipment has not been tested, it is your responsibility to take the equipment and test it in the testing area. As you can see, you are able to test all equipment like an AV receiver or DVD player in this area before putting it in the rack and taking it to the job site. Just use the cables here. Unhook any equipment that is already hooked in and hook your equipment up instead. Once you have successfully tested the equipment, you may put it in the rack as indicated on the rack elevation plan. You will also put in any power strips that are to be included in the rack and plug the power cords from each piece of equipment into it. Any cables like HDMI or component cables will also be hooked up to the equipment now before leaving Livewire. One exception to this rule is speaker wire. Do not attach the speaker wire yet. Once all of the cables have been added, please secure them neatly with zip ties. Now you're ready to put the box back over the unit and load it into the van. Even though you have taken the audio-video equipment out of their original boxes, please make sure you take the boxes with you and leave them with the client. That's it! Now you know how to build the audio-video component rack and test the equipment.